This week's parsha begins with Hashem commanding Moshe, "The children of Israel shall bring to you pure olive oil, crushed for illumination." The Gemara tells us that Klal Yisrael is compared to the olive, for Klal Yisrael will be crushed many times, but we must know that it is all for the sake of illumination, that all our struggles as a nation or as ourselves are something that allows us to reach a higher level, a greater level of spiritual illumination. Nobody asks for suffering, nor should we, but life is about challenges, and when they come our way, there are three ways we can respond. We can despair or get angry, or we can respond stoically. But there's also a third possibility. We can become like the olive, which when crushed, produces the pure oil that fuels the light of holiness. In the 1990s, a new term was coined, post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth doesn't deny deep distress, but rather posits that adversity can yield great changes. Sherry Mandel, whose 13-year-old son was killed by terrorists in 2001, wrote a book called The Road to Resilience. In it, she says, Jewish philosophy teaches us that resilience is not overcoming, it's becoming more, becoming our fullest and deepest selves as a result of adversity. We don't escape, but contemplate and reshape. We don't leap over troubles as if they don't exist. We allow them to be our teachers. We experience resilience when we are enlarged rather than diminished by challenges, when facing adversity causes us to change, grow, and become greater. Moreover, resilience offers us the opportunity to deepen our relationship with the divine. When we are faced with challenges, as we are now as a nation and so often in our personal lives too, rather than saying, Lama, why has this happened? For we will never know, at least not in this world. But we can ask, Lama, for what purpose? Given that this has happened, what then shall I do? How can I respond? Our task is to bring light to the dark places of our and other people's lives. If we look at the hostages who are in the darkest of places, both literally and figuratively, we see the most incredible light. I'm sure you've all heard about Agam Berger, but Derek Emunah Bakati, I chose the path of Emunah, how she tried her best to keep Shabbos, daven, eat kosher in captivity. Elia Cohen, who offered to swap places with another hostage who was physically and mentally weaker than him and remain captive in his place, but the terrorists refused. Omer Shem Tov, who observed Shabbos in Gaza, he only had a flashlight and he made sure not to turn it on during Shabbos to symbolize an honest Shabbos. Keith Siegel said he tried to say a blessing over everything he ate in Gaza, but he didn't know how to make brachas. He simply said Borei Minei Mezonot over every food. When he returned home, his family asked what special food to prepare for Friday night, for the first meal together. Keith said, no need for special food. First of all, I want a kippah and kiddush. And we can hear these stories and say, wow, they are incredible people. And they are. But we have to know that we are incredible too. We too, by holding on to our faith, by going through our challenges and growing through our challenges, can and do turn the darkness into light. Good Shabbos.